should be good, right? Let's see.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, yours popped up as well.
Okay, calm.
It should be straight. Yeah, we good.
We good. All right. Shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
First and foremost, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Raha, HaKwadash. Double honors to the beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David, starting with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children out of the 12 tribes whom Yahweh Bashem Shai will ultimately have mercy upon in these last days. I'm your brother Matazabath. Joining me is the beloved brother Yashar.
Shalom, shalom.
Right, and we are GMS Australia. All right, and today, me and the beloved brother, we just want to go into some things that has been happening across the globe pertaining to World War III, which Lord's will, depending on the timing, we can get it in. We also probably are going to do a part 2 tomorrow evening. But firstly, we just want to tackle the video that the beloved Elder Pastor Harp recently put up a few hours ago, entitled "Give Me Your Feedback," and this is going into IUIC Salakia. I think they were asked a question on their panel pertaining to an Israelite man dealing with the heathen woman, and basically, if there's children involved, what's the goal with that situation? So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to play the video. You're more than welcome to, Akia, if you want to interject at any point in time, but we're just going to let it roll. All right. And then we're going to bring out some edification really quickly on this, and then hopefully we can jump into news events.
Did
you want to start off with a precept or anything before we get started?
No, we can, you know what? Yeah, I had a quick preset.
Okay, Con.
I'll just get this right here real quick. Luke,
no, I got one.
If you got one, I had Luke because with the things that has been going on to do with the what we're going to touch on, and then this situation here as well. It's like how about Shimon Shah is working right now. We come to a time where like you gotta get smaller. Mindly, meaning like you can't be watching different groups when it comes to the truth, because IUIC is telling you something different from the Bible. All right, IHPK, all these groups are telling you something different. So, and we come to a time where the scripture says in these last days, many are going to come out and say, I am anointed one, and they shall deceive many. So you don't want to be caught up in that situation. And it's funny that all these things are happening right now. Matthew 24 is happening right now. At the same time, you're just going to be in the spirit. To really catch it and see that, we're in that time where the Heavenly Father, how about Shimon Shah is speaking. So one of the precepts I had to, unless you want to bring down yours first, Akio?
Yeah. This is 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7. Desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. Okay. And this is the situation that you have. All right. You have these men. Even this is the reason why the Spirit hopped on Elder Apostle Tahar before the start of 2026 to deem this year the year of apostasy, false teachers, and false prophets. All right. You have guys out here, in a sense, desiring to be a teacher of the law, but they don't even understand the law. Okay. They don't understand the overall or what they're supposed to understand. And that goes back to Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7, which clearly says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. You can have all the wisdom in the world, but what good is that wisdom if you don't have the understanding behind it to back it up?
That's right.
All right. And what you're about to see in this video, it seems like to me they just winging it at this point, man. They just going into scriptures read it verbatim and say, well, see, that's what it says, not going into the context of what was actually being established there. But you're going to hear it from here. Did you want to bring out a point or good?
Yeah, I was gonna bring up precept right here real quick.
Yep. Go ahead.
This is the book of Luke chapter 8 verse 17. It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest." So I remember a couple years ago, we would make lessons and be like, "Oh, watch out for these groups. They're false prophets. They don't know the Bible. Either they know the Bible but they sold out. So everything will be you guys just hating, you talking, you talking crazy. How they sold out? Maybe everything they're saying is scriptural. GMS is going off. We're like, okay, you know what? Cool. You follow them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says, for nothing is secret that should not be made manifest. And then another thing is, like the brother just mentioned that Pastor High named this year, it's being made manifest right now to people that IUIC is waxing worse and worse. Okay?
Yep.
The deceiver and the deceived what are gonna wax worse and being deceived and all that. It's happening right now, and the false prophets are rising up on in high places. Okay, they're being praised right now, and then it's crazy. Like I mentioned before, it's all happening. It's all happening as what Matthew 24 is wrecking out right now in our faces.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For nothing secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." So everything is coming to the light right now.
Yep.
Nothing is going to be hid. Nothing is going to be kept in secret. Oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure. No. It's here right now. So it's up to, again, like we can't make anybody be of the elect. I can't make myself be of the elect. How about you?
Yeah.
I gotta be dealing with you to really see what's going on. Now, if I can see it, do I go quiet? If I've been doing lessons, or the bird right here, if he sees, does it go quiet? The apostles, even the apostle Hamid, putting up this video, give me your feedback. Do you see what's going on? Do you see what's happening? Do you understand what the scriptural what this individual trying to say? Because these niggas is going by what Deuteronomy chapter 17. But they don't go deeper.
Nope.
So that was that was my point on that, Akia.
Okay, Con. All right. Let's play the video.
So why are there no
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahshua B'Hashem L'Chakodah. Shalom to the 144,000. Rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, this is going out to y'all. What's your take on this right here, what you're getting ready to hear? This is IUIC Oklahoma Q&A with the captains. So I'm just going to let it play from right here. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to add to it. I'm just throwing out there for y'all. What your feedback? What's your feedback on this?
T2s? I'm guessing that means Titus 2s on YouTube. The next question.
I'm not talking about this.
Because some stuff is in-house. The
next question I'm dealing with. The next two questions, next question.
Explaining everything to everybody. They can watch and learn online from the brothers. But once they're in the body, then they'll be into that. Yeah. Last one there. The children born of a mixed union are the children. Go to Ezra 10 and 3. Go ahead, y'all answer that.
It says, if the children born of a mixed union are what the father is, why put away the children? Get that, Ezra 10 and 3.
Ezra chapter.
What do you put away? You have a woman from another nation. You have a child. Do you put that child away along with the woman? Do you put that child, which is an Israelite, away along with the woman? Give me your feedback.
Yeah, and the quick answer to that is no. And we're going to show you in the scriptures why it's no, right? But I'm going to continue.
In verse 3. Come on! Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God. And let it be done according to the law.
Why? Because it was a sin to marry wives of the other nation. Now, why the children went, get Nehemiah 13. This is why.
Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 23. Let's go. And those
Remember, keep in mind, Moses' sons were half heathen. So did he put them away?
days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and of Ammon and of Moab.
That was the same thing during the time of Nehemiah was happening. It was happening during the time of Ezra. They seen Jews marrying wives of the other nation. Read on.
And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language.
They spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language. They were unclean. Because think about it, who raises the children?
I guess they wasn't Hebrew Israelites then. They couldn't speak Hebrew.
The mother.
crazy.
That's why Ezra said, listen, put them away, get rid of them. They just came out of captivity. They was dedicating the temple back to the Lord. They were trying to clean filth.
So do you you have women of the other nations, you have children by them. You're an Israelite. The children are obviously Israelites. Do you put the wife, the woman of another nation away with the children that are Israelites? Keep in mind, Moses had sons with a woman of another nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Out of Israel. So they said, listen, put away your wives, and guess what? The kids gonna go with them. Why? Because many of them spoke half in this. They were unclean. They spoke half in the speech of Adonai.
So these children are these children which are Israelites, not the children that these women already had, but these children that were begotten of Israelite men. What they put out. What's your feedback? What's your feedback? What's your feedback?
You also read that in 1 Corinthians 7, same thing. Many of y'all go through that as well. But watch this, read on.
Verse.
I don't know what he means by first. I guess he means unbelieving wives. You have an unbelieving wife, you keep that wife. They teach, however, that if you have an unbelieving wife and she doesn't come into the truth and you come into the truth, you can cut her off. And if she pleases to dwell with you, you cut her off anyway. Are they going based upon scriptures? Their fear towards me is taught by the precept of men.
Verse 24. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And
so that was a reason why he told them, listen, get rid of your wives, because you ain't supposed to be marrying wives of the other nation. Get rid of them. And the kids go with them. Because many of kids of another nation, and I can speak from that from experience, they always side with the mother. They always go with the mother.
I want your feedback. Give me your feedback. I want your feedback.
Verse 25. Verse 25.
And I contended with them and cursed them.
Gideon, what was it? Gideon? Gideon had many wives, and he had 70 sons, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And he had a son with a concubine, woman of another nation. Was that son put out? Wait a minute. Rehoboam shouldn't be king because Solomon lay with a Moabite, Ammonite woman and had this son Rehoboam. So how did he become king? If he was half Ammonite.
And smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons.
And so Nehemiah wasn't playing no games. He smacked up some of the Jews, plucked them and said, listen, you got to stop messing with these other nations. That's how serious.
You can have women of the other nations, but you make them concubines. You don't marry them. If you had children with them, they're Israelites. The children are in a higher status than the women that bear the Israelite children. Perfect example, going back to Sarah, Abraham, and Hagar. Hagar had a child for Abraham, Sarah was to be the mother. That's a handmaid. That's what a handmaid did. Sometimes you had sex with your woman's maidens. And if whatever was born in the house has become the mother of the house. It becomes their children, but she despised it. She came up with the idea. So can you have women of the other nations? Of course you can. You just can't marry him. You can't put him on that status of an Israelite woman.
Serious it was. Bishop even said it in class before concerning those that intermingling and the kids and the offspring of it. That was it. That was the last question. Yep, that was the last question.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Did you want to speak on it? You want to go first, or
I had a preset here.
okay, let's bring it out. Yep.
2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 3 says, and he's second. Let me start from the top. It says the house of David strengthened. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David walked stronger and stronger. But the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. And unto David were sons born in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amon, Amon, and of Abinoah the Jezreelites. And verse 3 says, and his second shall be of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite, and the third Absalom. And this is the point: Absalom, the son of Maacah, the daughter of the Talamite king of Geshua, and Jeshua, I want to say that's how you say it. But this right here, Absalom was born of a heathen woman.
Yep.
And but he's counted here as a son of David.
Yep.
You know, so he didn't say, "Oh, Absalom was abandoned because he was born of Maacah, of the daughter of the Talamite king of Joshua."
Yeah.
Joshua, whatever however you say it. He didn't say it was thrown away because of that. No, Absalom is a key point in the Bible when you read about it, man.
Yep.
Even though he was, wherever he was, the shit he did, but like he didn't get. There's no way in the Bible says, oh, because just because he was born of a hidden woman, so therefore he was just thrown apart. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. And the issue with this, let me just go back. The issue with what they're saying, just for you, especially you newer brothers, all right, who are just coming into the faith, this is an example of breaking up homes. You're breaking up marriages by doing stuff like this. And the reason being is because we have to establish early on. Let's get the book of Numbers. All right, let's go back to the basics.
Yeah.
Numbers 1 and verse 18, which says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their family by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, 20 years old and upward by their posts. So your pedigree, which goes into your lineage, was determined by your father. All right. Now, as the brother stated, you saw an example with King David and his sons, right? Now, what you have to understand is when we go to Ezra, the 10th chapter, because the problem with IUIC is they don't go into context. And if you read carefully, it literally tells you what actually happened if we start from the top. Ezra 10 and 1. Now, when Ezra had prayed and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of power, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore. And Shechaniah, the son of Jael, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our power and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. So that's the context being established. That was the trespass, because according to the law in Deuteronomy, okay, we were not to marry heathen women of the other nations, because when you marry, you enter into what's called a contractual agreement. And usually with that contractual agreement, you start to take on the customs. That's the key part. You start to take on the customs of the other nations. For an example, if me and brother Yashar here, we met Ishmaelite woman, right? And her faith is of one that is of Islamic background.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you been in a situation when you've dated a girl, you go and meet their parents and you get invited over, whatever, and you try to get in good with the family, and you'll possibly do stuff that you know goes outside of your faith, your morals, your belief, or whatever, but you do it anyway because you're trying to get in with the family, right? It's the same thing.
Trying to please the family too.
Exactly. So over a process of time, you know that the father's going to come to you and say, hey, if you want to get with my daughter, you're going to have to convert. And
That's pretty easy to say.
and now let's even move aside for that. Jake, as it says in the book of what's that? First Esdras, the 4th chapter. Many men have run out of their wits for women.
That's right. Yep.
It ain't just the Israelite woman. That's also the heathen woman, right? So when you latch on to a woman like that and you you go head over heels for her, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to forget about your customs and everything it is that you pride yourself on, and you love her so much that you're going to take up on her customs. One of our forefathers that demonstrated that was King Solomon. Okay, that's why when you read the book of Nehemiah, the 13th chapter, let's grab that real quick. In Shalom, Yahweh Shemel Shabarakatha. All right. To the Akim on a comment board. But let me see here. Okay. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 23. In those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in speech of Ashdod and could not speak in a Jew's language, but according to the language of his people. Now, this was also the second issue, because being married to those other heathen women, which you have to take into account, right, is it committed, what's the word I'm looking for? When it came to the children's sake, all right, what you have to understand in the context was the fact that it would have caused the children being raised within the heathen customs and idolatry. Okay. The issue with that will be national and a covenant of purity. Okay.
Yep.
And then that leads to the spiritual fornication, because now that's going to cause the affection of the father, right? Because of dad is going to turn around and go, oh, but I love my son, I love my daughter, right? But if they are taking on the ways of the heathen mothers' customs and being brought up, right, that's going to lead you away from your faith because you love your son and your daughter more.
Yeah, and that's why Yahushua even quoted in his last days, if you love your mother, your father, sons and
Yep.
daughters, and you love me, you can't be
Yep.
you can't be my disciple or serve me, because we're in a time right now where idolatry is on high level, man.
Exactly.
Hey, an example is that there's brothers out there, right, who got family, wives. I mean, it's like a wife and their daughters. They could have daughters or sons who are like over 18, and they have their own belief system, right?
Yep.
And they will come at you when you're trying to tell them the truth. They'll come at you some type of way. So now, are you gonna
Yep.
bow down and please them or please your woman? She's a
Mhm.
she's a hardcore Christian. Oh, you're antichrist, and now she's calling antichrist. She's calling you all these names. Are you gonna turn
Right.
around and give out the truth because of that? No.
Yep.
But like the brothers mentioned, during the time of Ezra, that did happen. You had men that lost their wits for their women.
Yep.
And an example of that is our forefather King Solomon, that's
Which I would
Yahushua.
read.
And
Yep.
I had I don't know if you got the precept, but I got the precept put up here if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead, break it out.
First Kings chapter 11. You heard that one as well, right?
Yeah. It goes into verse 26, but bring your point out and then I'll
Okay.
read verse 26.
Beautiful. First Kings chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of a Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, man, here flavors, man, and
Yep.
Hittites of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
Yep.
Solomon clave unto these in love. This is going
Mhm.
into marriage.
Yep.
Okay, it says I want to look up the word clave, what it means. Cleave. It says clean, stick, stay close, cleave, keep close, stick to, stick. We follow closely. Join to. Marriage is what? Joining one another,
Join
right?
to. Yeah,
Join.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. And then so that tells you what really happened with King Solomon, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the strong definition, it says here, it says a primitive root properly to impinge, i.e., clean or adhere, effectively to catch by pursuit, abide fast, cleave fast together, follow close, hard after, be joined together. That's
Yep.
marriage.
That's
So
marriage.
King Solomon did that, right? Then it
Yep.
says, verse 3, and he has 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
Yeah.
It says his wives, his woman that he married to, that he met, the hidden woman that he made made him wives to, turn his heart, his mind away, right? From what? From how about Shem Yahushai, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, for it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
There you go.
And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh, and his power as was the heart of David, his father.
Mm-hmm.
And we can keep going on and on, but like this woman turned away his heart.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about him sleeping with him, going into him. The reason why, when you read the book of that was Nehemiah, right?
Yeah. That was in Nehemiah.
It's because Jake became weak and it was letting his woman take over them and turning these men into what? Worshiping their gods. Like I'll give you an example right now. What's that UFC fighter, man? Jackson was his first name. I forget his first name, but his last name is Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Rampage Jackson.
Oh yeah, Rampage Jackson.
That nigga right there,
Yeah.
man, he's into Moabite's woman, man.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga will put a whole Moabite, feet on and then do the whole candles and do the whole thing, man.
Yep.
That's an example we're talking about right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave an example, like you and I, like, we meet Ishmaelite women, and we somehow now we put the whole thing wrap on. Next time I see the brother, like, hey, salam alaikum.
Yeah, right. That's what it is. Yeah.
The Ramadan is coming. Hey, man, I'm keeping Ramadan, man, with my wife. Whatever they do, their tradition towards their gods, you keeping up. Okay, that's what what was happening during that time. And you see that a lot here. Man, I know a few individuals who really became so-called Christians because their women made them.
Yeah.
Prior to that, they were so-called awakened community, but they're Jesus loves you, man. And I'm like, what are you getting that shit from? My woman. I'm going to church fucking 4 times a week. My woman, I gotta go with my woman. There's just here like that doing that shit, man. Turning into an idolatry.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's one point of that here. So here.
I pulled up here from 1 Kings 11:2, where you go into that Hebrew word debak. When it says that Solomon clave, it literally means man to wife. So he married those heathen women, which he was not supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right. And going back to Nehemiah, Nehemiah 13, we left off at verse 24. Verse 25 says, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by Yahweh, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? And that's the key point. Yet among nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his power, and the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. And that was the point going back to Ezra. Okay, Ezra 10 and 3. So this is why establishing the context and understanding why he did that. Because if I'm not mistaken, let me go back to the question real quick. I just want to hear it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say nothing. Question.
It's explaining everything to everybody. They can watch and learn online from the brothers. But once they're in the body, then they'll be into that. Yeah. Last one there. The children born of a mixed union are what's it? Children. Go to Exodus 10. Ezra 10 and 3. Wait,
Right. So that was a question. The children born of a mixed union. Well, like the brother said earlier, and we brought out the point in Numbers 1 and 18, your pedigree is determined by the house of your father, right? Now, you may have brothers in the truth that they are with a Moabite woman, they're with a Japanese woman, right? They are with a Elamite woman or Ishmaelite woman. Guess what? That seed of theirs, okay, is still an Israelite.
That's right. Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you basically go into the ancient times as well, you know, even like the culture I grew up, you know, where I'm from is like a man, you know, is always the house of, is the head of the house, right? So whatever I believe in, if I get a woman, that woman has to come under me.
That's right.
You know, I'm not going under her beliefs. That's the thing. And that's how it's gonna be established in the kingdom. Because you remember, yeah, we're gonna have, you know, Israelites' wives, but we're gonna have concubines as well in the kingdom to come. So does that mean the daughters we're gonna have, it's like the sons and daughters we're gonna have with these hidden women? Are we gonna be going off? No, because the righteousness is gonna be established. And no other gods that are gonna be here, all right, that we're gonna worship because they're gonna be destroyed from there.
Right.
So during that time, those are gods who were destroyed.
Yep.
During that time, like you know, that wasn't on the kingdom yet. Even though it was not the kingdom, but there was still like some type of weaknesses among you know, our own people happening,
Right.
to where a woman will, you know, will take over you, which that's why it's written. Remember, the scripture says the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Yep.
So we're seeing King Solomon fall. That's King Solomon falling.
Yeah.
You know, he married, you know, he had many wives, but the thing is with him, is that he was you know, this woman turned his heart, his mind away from Yahweh.
Yep.
And but Jake don't understand that though. They really think because King Solomon sinned, like, hey, you ask regular Christian, oh yeah, King Solomon, he sinned, man, because he slept with hidden women. And I'm like, okay, so if he slept with hidden women and he sinned, then how can any of us prove that we sleep with that
That's right.
so-called, you know, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, oh, how can I prove that my, you know, your woman? How can you prove that your woman is the seed of you know, you know, Israelite? You know, then you got this diamond Christians. Oh yeah, but my woman believes. Oh really? Can we double check that?
Yeah.
Can we double check that? So she's worshiping different God, and you say she believes, but she's out here doing this, not. But she believes, so meaning that she will never turn your heart away from God, right? She believes.
Yep.
Now that shit is there's a lot of confusion going on, man. You know, so to the time to come, like you know, hey, we're gonna have, you know, like the scripture says in the book of Isaiah, that the little one should become 1,000. And then, you know, when you take over a nation, the woman became they become your booty. You take them.
Yep.
So what are we going to do with them?
That's the key. Yeah.
Like I just that's the question to IYC, you know, all these different groups, you know, IH3PK. Like, what are we gonna do with these women that of these nations? Then when you know, everything established and they're here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm burying. Oh yeah, I can't touch it. She's a hidden. Get the fuck out of here, man. These nations, they did the same thing, and the scripture says that we're gonna do what they did in righteousness. taking that woman and having the kids with him, it don't change nothing. We already brought it out, like in Numbers, your seed, your heart, your mind is of your father.
Yep.
But Jack to these, they don't understand that shit, man.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like
I got a precept for you, because you touched on where you come from. The man is considered the leader of the house, and the hey Shalom Zaquan Yahweh Shemel Shabra Shemel Kahakodash. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. I be up late at night, so I be catching brothers. I was like, oh, the brothers are on, man. I would have invite myself. I just, I said, what's up, man? Chiming in. I was listening to what brothers are saying, man. And yeah, man. Eddie, you had mentioned about what's gonna happen to these women when we get them, like you said, because they booty, and they going into captivity. You know what I'm saying? If they like something, right? And it's gonna be, especially the young ones, that's not gonna be having men already, so they're gonna be virgins. So they're gonna grow up in our home, serving our wives and daughters, and then eventually they'll be concubines, man. And then we'll have children.
Right,
with them. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have children with these other nations, man. And they're
That's
gonna
right.
be Israelites. Them babies gonna be Israelites. And unlike Esau, we're not putting our children into captivity. No. Esau put his kids in captivity. I did a lesson earlier this week, going into that, man, because Esau enslaved a lot of Edomites, man. It's a lot of chocolate covered Edomites running around here amongst our people because they Esau, such a demon, you know what I mean? The kids had to inherit the mother's condition. So if the mother was a slave, then that kid would be a fucking slave. And in reality, you destroying your own people. We ain't doing no shit like that. And them kids, the children that we have with the women of the other nations, man, they're gonna be under. It's just like, they're under the rulership of our wives, man. I'll just speak as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like your wife ain't, like, none of our Israelite wives are gonna look at them children from them concubines any different than the children that came from their own womb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kids gonna know that, hey, I'm an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter if that woman, if your mom's is a heathen, it don't matter. I'm an Israelite. She's going to die one day. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna have to go to captivity. So at the end of the day, they're gonna be raised as children of Israel, and they're gonna get, if they're sons, they're gonna get inheritance. They're gonna be kings, right? They're gonna enjoy. They're the Lord's people.
Yep.
Hey, Elder, remember when that's the book of Peter, right? When Apostle Peter said, like, you wives be obedient to your husband as Sarah was to Abraham, right?
Yep.
That's in the book of Peter, right? But check this out. Genesis chapter 16, verse 2, right? And Sarai said unto Abraham, behold, now the Lord Yahweh have restrained me from bearing. I pray thee go into my maid, right?
Yeah.
So is that going off? Or Sarah asking Abraham to go into
Yeah.
right?
No. To back you up, if I can, I had the precept pulled for you earlier. Genesis 3:16. It says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Hey, look at it in the NLT. Read it in the NLT.
Change this.
NLT. No. Go to tools. Oh, let's
go. Tools.
Yeah, you can just go to tools next time. You know what I'm saying? Just go to tools and then go to Bible versions. Yeah.
NLT, it says, then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you.
That's right. So these women, they all have a natural desire to control you. And that's why in this society, women control men. How they control men? Well, they get impressionable upon them. Well, there's a great I think it was a Rubel when he was talking about men. I mean, he's talking about the king, the woman, and wine. And then he said the truth. He spoke about the truth and how, like, the woman, she was slapping the king in the face, slapping that shit. Like, if a man did that, he would have took his head off. She was putting his crown on her head. That's the kind of stuff that she was doing. She was sitting in his throne like it was all good. And that's really a disgrace. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just a woman's innate ability. In her mind, she might try to convey it. Oh, I was just playing. Nah, you trying to control him. You'll be you'll try to be the control behind the throne. It ain't happening that way, right? It says, and you will desire to control your husband, but what? He will rule over you. And then Esau put women over men in this society.
Yeah, right.
Which that's that was the scripture, right? That was also a curse, right? A woman should rule over you.
Yeah. Well, you read Isaiah chapter 3. It says, "Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err." It says, "Women, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Showing you that a lot of people start with the men of Israel, and like it says, there was no queens in Israel. By the way, it wasn't. Well, we had one, but she wasn't supposed to be queen. I think her son was young or something like that, and she made herself the queen. But yeah, we don't have queens. We have princesses, right? Because the queen, that's basically, she's like the equivalent of a king, and that's what's going to happen. You know, women ain't
equal bullshit.
Yeah, women are the servant, but you can get blinded by the servant, and this happened to our forefathers millennium. Like when we talk about when you go to Genesis chapter, was it? I always get it mixed up. I believe it wasn't Genesis 10, but it's like right before the flood happened. Well, shit. No, I forget what precept is. It says that we saw the sons of power saw the daughters of men that they were
men's,
right. So it wasn't so much that they was popping them. It was that once they start fucking with him, the woman started bringing him idols and all that other shit to him, and he accepted it. Right. Even one of our the prophets, our forefathers, I always get them mixed up. I was either Zephaniah or Zechariah, but it was one. Oh, it might have been Ezra. I think it was Ezra. He had pulled the hair out of Jake's face because what they were doing was they were going into these women of other nations, but they weren't schooling the children on their Israelite culture. That's
the spirit. We read that before.
They was letting Jake children be influenced by their mothers, so they weren't fearing Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They probably was idol worshiping. They were speaking the language of their mother, right? So they were neglecting. And so what he told them, hey, lead them where they at. They still Israelites. The kids are still Israelites, but still, like, it was like separate yourself from them, because what happened is the women are corrupting you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's what they are. Women will try to corrupt the man in any way she can, because she ain't really thinking about the man. A woman is supposed to serve you and be under your rulership, and she's supposed to be a helpmate unto you. Now, there are women out there that have a spirit of wanting to be a helpmate, but she still got Satan on her, right?
Definitely.
So you still gonna have that problem. But again, these women, just like it wasn't King Solomon, it wasn't that he married them women or he dealt with the women of other nations. What King Solomon did was he was consolidating power. So how they did it in the ancient world, you had to marry your allies' daughters and shit. That cement power. I mean, that cement the covenant between y'all, or the agreement, right?
Yep.
So, like, you're not going to invade a country if your daughter is a princess over there, right?
No.
Right.
We're not going to do that because my grandkids, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going to happen? So like that makes sense. And then it was also too, he was nation building. He was building his empire. So these agreements, again, they stood on marriages, because that's what marriage is. It's an agreement between two families of fathers. You know what I'm saying? And we only gonna marry our daughter, our people, our women, right? When I say marry, I mean have a covenant between.
That's right.
Like my little woman, we part of the elect. You know, me and these brothers, we got daughters and sons. Or shit, if I got daughters and they like them, hey brother, go ahead and take my daughter. She's yours. Right? You know what I'm saying? What's that agreement? Yeah, it's an agreement between us. And now that family structure is even more stronger, because I know her. I know his son line. I know where he come from. He know my daughter line. He know where she come from. And now we're brothers in marriage. You know what I'm saying? Well, he could be my father-in-law. I'll be his father-in-law. This brother, and that's
you best become like a nation.
We're becoming a nation, and that's why. And we're gonna be a strong nation. Our nation gonna be super tight knit, but we ain't gonna have that same agreement with the women of the other nations. The women of the other nations gonna have to follow our lead. They're gonna follow after us. They're gonna worship our power, our God, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They're not gonna worship their idols. They're not gonna be able to bring none of that bullshit with them. And
Mhm.
then
That's right.
they're gonna grow up. They're gonna grow up within our houses. So by the time she reached the flower of her age, all she gonna know is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. By the
Yep.
time
Right,
she
yep.
reaches the flower of her age, she gonna be in well order, or she gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she ain't gonna know nothing else. And that's why the scriptures speak about it's gonna be a visitation on all the idols. I don't know if you got that, because I know we're talking about well, it's various topics too. So, but there's
I had mentioned it, like once the kingdom established, the gods of this, whatever women we get, we pick out in those days, like their gods they're not gonna be existence here no more. They're gonna be fucking destroyed.
Yeah, I think it's in Wisdom of Solomon. It says there's going to be a Wisdom of Solomon 14. It says upon the idols, there's going to be a visitation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, and we ain't knocking on no door. We going to tear them motherfucking idols. Smithereens, man. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Because in the eyes of the creature, which is the Israelite man, ultimately Israelite people, it became a stumbling block in the eyes of the unwise, right?
Yep.
That they were getting these temporary gifts and glory from these idols, when in reality it was still coming from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, but you were giving his glory to another. And so our kingdom is going to be stuck. It's just like this kingdom. You can't worship Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah openly in this kingdom. He's not accepted. Like I think I was listening to a video yesterday. One of the bros was speaking about I think it might have been a brother, might have been apostle or bishop elders. I watched so many videos, so sometimes they run together. But anyway, in the video, he said that I think it was Elder Bishop Ayathun said that in this kingdom they don't recognize Yahweh Shai as a power. So they don't recognize Yahweh or Yahweh Shai as a power. So when you go get 501c3 charter, you can't say that you worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You got to say Jesus Christ or Allah or Buddha, something like that. And then they'll recognize your 501c3 charter. But if you say you worship Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, they're not going to recognize it. You're not going to get no tax, nothing, right? Because they don't recognize our power. So in our kingdom, we're not going to recognize you nations' power.
Shut up.
You got it. I was talking.
Yeah. No, you good. But we get another point. I want to go to the book of Ruth just to make a quick point, because he mentioned something about the child. Well, when you go to Ruth, the 4th chapter, I believe, and we're talking about the kinsman redeemer. Remember, Ruth, she was a Moabitess. All right. And during that time, when you read the actual full book, there was a famine, all right, in Bethlehem, Judah. That's the reason why they went to the country of Moab. Right? And the sons who passed away, they took on the daughters of Moab. All right. That proves the fact that Ruth was a Moabitess, because you also have a doctrine out there that talks about that she was an Israelite. No, she was a Moabite. She was an actual heathen. But the point of the matter is this right here. I think it's Ruth chapter 4. And let me just get straight to the point. Let me type it in. Right. Ruth 4 and 13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. All right. Now, when it says wife, meaning really she was a concubine, a lesser wife. All right. Because they would have understood the law. And this is where the context comes in, because like the elders always teach us, in order to know the mystery, you got to know the history. You have to know the history of what our forefathers did within that covenant. All right. And how they did things based upon ancient marriages and stuff like that. So it goes on to say, and when he went in unto her, Yahweh gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the women said unto Naomi, blessed be Yahweh, which have not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age, for thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons have borne him. Now, when you drop down, it tells you, and Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became nurse unto it. Why didn't the child go back to Ruth?
I think wasn't Naomi was Naomi. I don't think Naomi was a Jake either, right? Was she a Jake?
She was a Jake. When you read Ruth, the first chapter.
Oh, Naomi was a grandmother, wasn't it?
She was a grandmother.
Yeah, she was a grandmother. Yeah, his grandmother. Well, that baby is an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? That baby is, that baby is Jake.
Yeah, but that's it. You got it, Elder.
I
Yeah,
got.
she was. I had to look it up. It says, Naomi, my delight, wife of Elimelech, Elimelech, mother of Mahalon, Shilian, and the mother-in-law of Ruth and Opara.
Yep.
Opaha, Slakia, Opaha, yeah, Slakia.
I got this from ChatGPT. Real quick, I asked the question: could ChatGPT help me understand or the difference between an Israelite woman, wife, and a concubine? Right. So it says right here. I said, can you give me an understanding between an Israelite? It should have been wife. It said white, and a concubine. What's the difference? In the Hebrew Bible, ancient Israelite context, the distinction between a wife and a concubine was primarily legal, social, and economic, not necessarily moral. It says a wife, a full wife, lawful wife, a wife held the highest legal and social status within the household, within a household. Key characteristics: a formal marriage covenant. We were talking about that agreement between the families. Usually involved a bride price, a mohar, or a family agreement, which we talked about that.
Yep.
Had full legal rights and protections. Her children were primary heirs. Held recognized authority within the household, like Sarah over Hagar. Right? She held, even though Sarah asked Abraham to go into Hagar was still her servant, but she was vaunting herself and boasting herself against her. So you know how women be, and so Sarah whooping her ass, and she tried to run away, and then the angel told her, "No, go back, go back and serve your mistress." You know what I'm saying? And everything's gonna be all right, basically. And then eventually, and then the angel gave her some good prophecy and words to her. Your son gonna be good. He gonna grow up. He gonna have 12 sons and blah 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 blah. That. But the point of the matter is that Hagar didn't have preeminent role in it, and she is the there was a word that Paul uses. Oh, she was the bond woman, and our mother Sarah was the free woman. And there wasn't so much that the distinction, even though Ishmael was the older son, right? And in our culture, in Israelite culture, the eldest son, get the greater blessing. But it wasn't, that blessing wasn't for Ishmael. He got blessed, but he didn't get the blessing that Isaac got. Isaac received the preeminent blessing because that's what Yahweh Shai wanted. We had some of our forefathers came from bond women, right? You look at the 12 tribes. Not every 12 tribe came from Leah and Rachel. I think, you know what I'm saying? Leah had a daughter plus like 4 sons, something like that. Rachel had 2 sons. I believe 2 sons, Benjamin and I want to say Benjamin and Joseph. I think she had Joseph. Or she might have just had 1. But anyway, I get mixed up. It's a lot of history. But the point of the matter is that they were still, all of them men were still Israelites. And it was only one Israelite woman amongst them, and that was Dinah. And ain't no tribe of Dinah. So we could deal with these one nations and like I'll read it. Her children were primary heirs, held recognized authority within the household. A wife was considered part of the core family structure. Marriage created binding obligations for inheritance, provisions, lineage, social legitimacy. Example: Sarah, Abraham's primary wife; Rebecca, Isaac's wife. Right now, he had 4 wives. He had 2, what you would call primary wives, because Leah and Rachel were sisters. I'm sorry, I'm going off. We're talking about Rebecca. Isaac had Rebecca. That was his primary wife, right? Now we don't know if he had concubines. We know Abraham did because he dealt with Hagar. You know what I'm saying? So, but the point of the matter is concubine, or piladash in Hebrew, a concubine was a secondary wife like a partner, but with reduced legal status. Key characteristics: recognized union, but not a full covenant marriage. So brothers recognize that, hey, that's that man's wife. It don't matter if she's a concubine or not. Ain't nobody going in on her.
That's right.
That's what happened to one of our forefathers.
Was that King David?
No, it happened to Jacob, but it was his son Reuben.
Reuben, that's right.
He laid with his concubine on his couch.
Yeah.
He just went off. And he was the firstborn. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't even get that firstborn blessing because of that. You know what I'm saying? But that was his father's. He shouldn't have went up in her. So it says a concubine was a secondary wife like a partner, but with reduced legal status. Key characteristics: recognized union, but not a full covenant marriage. So that union between who was her? Ruth and Boaz, it was a recognized union. Why?
That's right.
Because her Israelite husband had died. And her mother-in-law, Naomi, told her to go back amongst her people, but she didn't want to go back with them. She wanted to stay with Naomi. So they was like, wait a minute, well, your husband died. He didn't have any heirs. So you gotta find one of his family members and you gotta deal with him and bring an heir, because that's part of our law. If the man died without a son, she has to marry either the brother or somebody close to kin to him and bring forth that seed because it's his seed. So what happened was the first guy from the family, he didn't want to do it. He threw the shoe at him. And then Boaz, he being an upstanding man, he was like, I'll do it, man. After some convincing and talking to the elders, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And then it was all spiritual anyway, because that's part of Yahushai's lineage. It goes back to King David. His father, I think, Obed was born out of that union between Boaz and Ruth. And then out of that came Jesse. Jesse is the father of King David, right? So nothing stopped there. So it says recognized union, but not a full covenant marriage. Typically, no bride price or full marriage contract. Had limited inheritance rights. Depended heavily on a man's protection. Children were legit. Listen to this. Children were legitimate, but often lower in inheritance rank. And that's not. So the children, we can get rid of this lower in inheritance rank, and it just says right here, legitimate. The children were legitimate. They were Israelites. So it says the concubine was not simply a casual partner. She was socially acknowledged, but her status was closer to a dependent partner, a secondary household woman, a wife of a lesser rank. That's all it is, right? She's still respected, though. You deal with her accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You ain't horning her out. You ain't pimping her out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't brothers come over, you ain't like, yo, go ahead and go on my contract. No, nobody's gonna touch that one. That's your wife. That's one of your wives. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna respect that, right?
Yep.
But she was dependent on the man, whereas she held no bride price with her. She didn't have any inheritance brought with her, as like with the Israelite woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the same thing happened with Ruth. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have she held a secondary householdship as a woman, a wife of a lesser rank. Important concubinage was a structured institution in the ancient Near East, not equivalent to modern ideas of mistresses or girlfriends, right?
Yep.
Says legal status, a wife had the highest and the concubine was secondary. A marriage contract, yes. With a concubine, you don't have no marriage contract because normally she was booty from a war or something. We took their people over and we just took her. We killed the family, all of that. You know what I'm saying? We took her ass. It's a certain way. I'm sorry, you got it, brother.
No, that's what I was going to say. Back you up. That's in our law too. What's that? Deuteronomy 21, dealing with domestic relations. So when you will go into war against the other nation, you see a woman that's beautiful and you desire her to wife. That begin that process, and then we had to let her, lament over her mother and father for a full monthly a moon cycle. Right? You have to par her nails, shave her head. All right. And then only by then you can go into her to seal the deal.
Yeah.
And can I say something out here real quick? So IUIC pushes the law, right? So how come they push that law away? You study the laws, the statutes, the commandments, but there's a law on how to deal with other nations' women. If you take them out, once the war breaks out, there's women left over. There's a way to deal with them, but somehow they don't read about that law though. So I guess are we gonna stay here? That law is done away. Like the Christians do all the time. Oh, it's done away. Okay, it's done away. Is that what we're gonna say now?
Yeah, or IUIC, they teach that you can't have multiple wives, right? So these guys talk about the law, the statutes, commandments, and in reality, they're just a westernized Israelite group.
That's
it. They're a westernized Christian Israelite group. That's all they are, and they got to push that because Why? The modern woman don't like competition, so she don't want you to have more than one woman, right? But then the scriptures, our forefathers had more than one woman. I did a lesson on this. I did a recent lesson, but it says that can I get this real quick? I always bring this up.
Go ahead. Yeah, you good.
I always feel like people don't really catch it because I never hear nobody else bring it up. That's why I always assume that. But this is ancient marriage and customs from the Bible Odyssey. And it's a thing. They don't teach you how to be a researcher either, or do your own research over there in IUIC.
Zombies,
so, yeah, they straight up zombies, man. So they don't so this is wedding and this is from the BibleOdyssey.com.org actually. Wedding and marriage traditions in ancient Israel. Marriage in ancient Israel involved practices and assumptions different from those of most people living in Western society today. So let's skip down. It says right here, it says the relationship between husbands and wives was not equal in the ancient Near East, including Israel. Baal, one of the Hebrew words for husband, also meant Lord or master. And men had life and death power over women in the case of adultery, which in ancient Israel involved a woman having sex outside of her marriage or a man having sex with another man's wife. Men, though, could have multiple wives and concubines and were allowed to go to prostitutes. Thus, monogamy was a one-way street in this culture. Boom. Right? And that lets you know that the only people walking down the street of monogamy is the woman. And that go for the Israelite woman and the concubine. Right? But these things were open to us, but like in the ancient Near East, it wasn't about a feel-good thing. Like I just want to bust and go crazy with fucking and shit. Nah. Sex is marriage, right? So that's the first thing. So you didn't just go around marrying a whole bunch of women and can't take care of them.
Yeah.
Right? That include concubines. You can't. How you gonna add concubine when you broke? How you going? And it ain't even just about being broke. It's just that you may not be mentally responsible yet. You may not be, you may not have the status yet. It took a while for a man to build himself up. You didn't just wake up one day and I was just rich. You know what I'm saying? And
testimony.
What's that, bro?
It was a show back then, probably about 10 years ago. It was called Atlanta Wives. I think it was Hollywood Wives, not Hollywood, somewhere, but it was
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No. It was something different because it was Edomite women that were on the show. And long story short, it was a scene where Edomite woman was talking to her friend, and the friend asked the Edomite woman, she said, how can you allow for your husband to get on his private jet and to fly anywhere he wants to and pretty much stick his Johnson, and anything that's walking, whatever. You know what she turned around and said to her friend? She turned around and said, look, that's none of my business at the end of the day. As long as I maintain or doing what I'm doing, I get to live like this. I'm taken care of. I get A, B, and C. And she said that. Now you can see, like when the question was asked her, you can see like, yeah, I got to put up with it. But the reality is, look at how I'm living. Yeah. So why would I mess that up? Because I'm worried about who he's doing at what time or whatever. As long as he don't bring nothing back with me or whatever, I'm straight. Basically what she was saying.
Yeah, and then even in that is like, again, we leaning on the servant's opinion. Our opinion don't fucking matter. When you wealthy, you got options. When you broke, you ain't got options. We just talked about it. Literally just said it. If you broke, there's no way that you're gonna multiply wives and be cool. You fucked up out here, right? But if you got money, then now you got options. Right now, I can go wherever the fuck I want to and lay down with it, whoever I want to, and I can take care of whatever happens. You have a baby, no problem. And that nigga, Prince Albert of Monaco, he's good for that, man. This nigga be laying around with bitches, raw dogging them, knocking them up, and having all these so-called illegitimate kids. But them kids is well off. One is like an actress, the other dude's a model. You know what I'm saying? He's in the Grand Prix racing. He not a half. He's an Edomite, but he looked like a Jake, right?
Right.
This dude, he was just busting off in these chicks, but he had the ability to take care of these kids, right?
Mhm.
So, like that's the thing, like those options open up to you when you have the ability to do it, because like I was going to say, marriage in the ancient Near East, it was more than just it was never about love. It was an institution. It was an agreement between families and social hierarchy. That's what it was. And it was to expand the family. All you doing is expanding your family's line. That's why the Lord says be fruitful and multiply. You got it, brother.
Like Elder Ariella and Elder Stromberg, they did a video on that, on the whole the multiple woman thing, letting brothers know, like, man, this is not about just putting your thing in a woman feel good thing. No, this is about when you go into ancient custom, like the elders mentioning right now. It's about it's business. It's about business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the pressure comes with that, but like it's about business, and it's not what people really think it is. Even if some of these women, the way they think is they're wrong on that, man.
Yeah, because
Super wrong on it.
they think that marriage is about love, and that this man is supposed to just be only into me, and if he's supposed to be romantic and shit. That's not what this is about, and that's the Edomite romanticized version of love. It's not or what marriage is. The scriptures, well, I have a How to Be Compact Dictionary Bible somewhere around here, but it says marriage is basically a relationship between a man and woman, cultivated. I'm sorry, marriage is an institution or a relationship between a man and a woman and the Most High, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shalom Shai, and is also constantly
nourished. Yep.
Yes, I think it said constantly
nourished by sexual intercourse, something to that effect. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, bro. So that's what marriage is. And in this world, they don't want to hear that. A woman in this world don't want to hear that. Look, we are already good. I'm laying with you. I'm taking care of you. She want to get that contract. She want to jump over that broom. She want a date about her. She want to be contractually connected to you, so that just in case anything happened, because she's always preparing to get the fuck out anyway, right? So she want to make sure that she has some legal rights over you. That's part of control, right? So it says right here, three major differences: legal status, a wife, the highest; a concubine is secondary. Marriage contract, yes. With a wife, with a concubine, often no. Bride price, yes. With a concubine, often no. Inheritance right, strong, and the concubine was limited, right? That's why when Ruth's husband died, her mother-in-law said, "You got to go back to your people." She ain't had nothing. She had no rights. She had no crib. She had no rights to no land. None of that. It says household authority, full, right? So the woman, she had, and that's what these women are going to do. They're going to be in the house, God in the house, and they're going to have their own authority within the house, right? They're going to have servants and handmaids.
And they're going to love it.
Yeah, they're going to love it. And so it's like, you want somebody to rule over, bitch, you can rule over your handmaid. You ain't ruling over me. And if I see handmaids that look good, now she about to be elevated to a concubine. And she had limited inheritance, right? I mean, she had restricted rights in the household, certain things she couldn't do, right? But but certain things that she's protected from too, right? I think there's I don't know if that was in that precept, but there's a precept where like it spoke about how the woman, basically you keep her in, she's supposed to be in the house. Well, there's a story, I believe it might have been Judith, but anyway, in that story they told her she looked so good. It could have been Esther, one of them stories, but they basically told her that, I think it was Esther, they kept her in away from the field hand work because they didn't want other men looking at her and trying to entice her and get on her because she was going to be probably the king. It's one of them stories, man, but that's how it go, right? It was like, look, no, you stay over here, right? And that's protection, right? And her mind, she ain't thinking like, oh, he trying to keep me away from living my life. And that's these women, I want to live my life. It's not about that. And it says children's status, primary heirs. The wife had children that had were the primary heirs, and then the concubines, her kids were legitimate but ranked, right? So in our kingdom, it's not going to be like that. We have sons with concubines; they're going to be princes, and it's going to be lovely to everything, but it ain't going to be like his older brother, who his mom might be a Judite woman. I don't even like Judite women. His mom might be like a Simeonite woman, In the kingdom, I'm like Judite woman, but right now, no. But his mom ain't gonna be like a Judite woman, and then he look at his brother, oh, your mom's a heathen. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna do no shit like that, bro. We brothers. We connected by blood, man.
That was Jephthah. That's what he had to go through before he became judge of Israel.
Niggas is hating on it because his mom's was a concubine. You know how it make life hard for you. So it's why concubines existed. Concubinage often arose due to economic arrangements, war captives, servant relationships. We just talked about that. You see a servant in the house that look good, you gonna knock her down. Fuck, who gonna stop you? Nobody. Nobody gonna say shit. It ain't gonna be a show either. So it's a responsibility, like you said. It's a responsibility. It's not just about the perks, because it feel good. I want to bust one off. Like no, like it's business, but it's good business. Right?
It's good business. Yeah.
Right? And it says infertility of a primary wife, and in our kingdom, none of our wives gonna be infertile. They're gonna be fertile myrtles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even the concubines, expansion of lineage. So now you try to expand your family. So you can't just do that with one woman or two women. You gonna need multiple women to do such a thing. It was tied to property, lineage, and survival structures, not modern romance concepts. You see?
Ooh, cut.
Not modern romance concepts. Children of concubines were generally legitimate, but inheritance priority could differ. Example, Ishmael, Hagar's son versus Isaac, Sarah's son. Conflict often centered on inheritance and covenantal lineage, not legitimacy. Cultural versus modern perspective. Modern Western marriage norms do not map cleanly onto ancient Israelite society. Ancient Israelite family law focused on lineage preservation, tribal inheritance, economic stability, household hierarchy, not modern romantic exclusivity. You see? So these are the things that you got to understand when you're dealing with. We're going back to the East. There's a precept when you brothers can get it. It says, search out the old ways and seek out the good paths. I think it's Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 6. I could be wrong, but I believe it's 16, verse 6. If it ain't 16, verse 6, then got to be Jeremiah 16 and 6. One of you brothers can read it. I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah, Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Yeah, Jeremiah 6. You got it, brother. You can read it.
It says, thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls.
Right.
But they said we will not walk therein.
Jake didn't want to. They didn't want to take heed to the word. They didn't want to take heed to the laws. They didn't want to take heed to Yahweh Shai, bro. And then what happened? They got destroyed in their pride. Right. But the good way is following what the Lord have established, because everything that the Lord established for us is good.
That's right.
Me and a brother Kahan, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, we did a lesson a couple days ago, I believe, and we came across this right here. This is from the this is Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, because this is gonna happen on this side, but it's from the Message version of the Bible, right? This is called the Message, MSG. You can only get it on a Bible Gateway, but it's called the MSG. And it says this, Isaiah 4 and 1. That will be the day when 7 women will gang up on one man saying, well, we'll take care of ourselves, get our own food and clothes, just give us a child, make us pregnant, so we will have something to live for. Damn. This is how real it's going to be. And remember, the precept says that a woman shall be saved in childbearing if she continue in the faith. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah, 1 Timothy 2 and 15.
Yeah, the brother.
Can I say something real quick?
Not brother.
Yeah, those women ain't gonna really be asking a regular, individual on the street. They're gonna be tagging the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Because remember when you go to the book of Zephaniah, it says the mighty man should cry there badly. So these mighty men of this world is the men who in high places right now. Those niggas gonna be gone. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be looking for salvation as well. So these women, they're gonna look around and be like, man, shit, I need that. Like, and if I can have a baby with this individual, then I know for sure I'm carrying a seed that can somehow give me a high chance percentage of being delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't want to happen to your seed or your woman. It's my woman now. Like, she under my protection. Nobody's gonna fuck with you. So it's like this is Isaiah 3:25-26. It's the latter verses in chapter 3 in the MSG. It says, "Your finest fighting men will be killed, your soldiers left dead on a battlefield. The entrance gate to Zion will be clotted with people mourning their dead. A city stooped under the weight of her loss, brought to her knees by her sorrows." Right, and it says, that will be the day, and things written for beforehand and written for our learning. These things are going to happen on this side, and that's what they don't like to hear. You talk about this nigga Nate talking about something. Oh, you got to watch out for these Israelite groups, man. They be having orgies. They be forcing women to go steal $10,000 worth of merchandise. Just lying. Just lying. Swapping wives.
That's fucking guerrilla Hebrew Israelite. That's the guerrilla Hebrew Israelite. Fuck out of here. Fuck that.
Yeah. So
that's also in Second Esdras, because the previous chapter you read in chapter 3, we know that there's going to be many men that's going to lose their lives in this final world's war. That's also mentioned in I think it's Second Esdras 15, where it talks about 15,
I got it here if you want me to
read it. Bring it out. Yep.
This is the book about Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse let me see, start from verse 18. I'll start from verse 17. It says, woe is me, who delivered me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of woes and the plowshare stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these things, when these evils shall come?
Behold, we're gonna pray to you. How about Shemel Shai?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not return. They shall not turn from their wickednesses, nor be always mindful of scourges. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils go up on earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast as down, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the sea shall be cast down. Is that the one, Akio?
No, it's another one.
There's another one.
She lamenting having no bridegroom.
Yeah, that one.
Having no bride. That's good too.
I think it's in chapter 15, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
It's,
can I read verse 24 real quick?
It's verse 33. You got it, brother.
And Second Esdras 16:24, it says, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
Yeah. And real quick, I'm gonna just pull it up in the G&T, see what it say as well. Second Esdras 16:24. Second Esdras 16:24 in the G&T. It says there will be no one left to plow the land or plant it. Right, verse 33. Can you read verse 33 in the KJV?
Yeah, it says the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers.
Yeah. So, and that's what's going to happen. Oh, read verse 34.
It says, in wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
It is. So these women going to be desolate out here, right? In the NLT it says young women. I mean, the GNT says young women will be in mourning because there is no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands. Daughters will be in mourning because there is no one to help them. All the young men will be killed in the war, and all the married men will die in the famine. So niggas gonna be dying out here. Grown ass men gonna be getting gonna be tired from famine. He probably done robbed a couple of houses, pulled, gathered a bunch of goods for his woman and his kids, and then he ended up dying from starvation. And then now what? Now she's done. She was married. She had a husband. Now she's sick, and it's gonna be men, women, and children saved, but brothers ain't gonna be walking around playing stepdaddy. You know what I'm saying? We not. You know what I'm saying? We too busy, right? Doing the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? And then when these women see, because they're gonna be alone, and that day ain't gonna be no more independent women. right? So when it goes down to it, they all gonna gang up. They are gonna gang up. I just before I even heard about this version of the Bible and in this particular verse, I used to say things like, "Man, these women gonna click up. That's a gang. Women click up, and they're gonna click up for protection purposes, and they're gonna click up because they got skill purposes. And then when they see when they run into a man of the Lord, they're gonna be like, look, marry us all, be with us all. Fuck it, we all gonna be your wives. We won't grow with you, right? They see the Lord. They see this the power that you have, right? Brothers gonna be healing. Brothers gonna be defending. Brothers gonna be fighting. Brothers gonna be doing a lot of miracles that Yahweh Shai did and then some. So these women gonna see that shit. And they're opportunistic. All women are opportunistic. Whenever they find opportunity, they gonna go to it. And they don't like to suffer. Women can't stand suffering. That's why women.
And then you see, like, going back into the, when I was in the world, right? Like, I used to go, clubbing and be, like VIP sessions and shit like that. And then when the rappers used to come here, man, you think you got a girl right there with you, and she get caught in VIP, nigga, she's gone. You better go home. You better catch a fucking taxi or cab and go home, because you're not gonna see that woman again.
The rest of the night.
And then her value shoot up.
Yep.
That's how it's gonna be.
Real quick, can you get can one of you brothers get Ciroc 26 and 6, and somebody also get it in a GNT?
I got both. I get it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. See, this is what's going to come to an end, because see, this is what we have to deal with right now on this side. But like the elder pointed out, when Jacob's trouble comes, ain't gonna be no independent, ain't gonna be no back talking, ain't gonna be no, jealousy and who you was out with last night. It's not gonna be none of that. You ain't gonna be on the phone calling Craig, talking about something who you was with last night when you all hugged up with another nigga in the bed. No, it ain't gonna be none of that.
We better not hear that son who runs the world fucked up.
Yeah. It's crazy. When we was kids and we was watching that fucking movie, nobody noticed that shit. It wasn't until we got older. We were like, this bitch had a whole nigga in the bed talking shit to her. You know what I'm saying? Bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, who you went to the movie last night with? Bitch, what? You got it, brother.
Yep.
This is Ciroc 26 and 6. It says, but a grief of a heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicate withal.
Now, when you read that in the GNT.
In the GNT, it says, but a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. Her tongue lashes out at everyone. Yep.
Right. So you gonna hear about it. You know what I'm saying? You think back to what's those shows in the 90s, the Maury Povich show.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
The lie detector test with you cheating, the Jerry Springer. Okay, all of them shows, man. Listen, that's why Zaquan did a beautiful lesson a week ago when you touched on that issue with Bishop Nate. All right, and had a woman said in the video about, she was with a Hebrew Israelite and he believed in multiple wives and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? See, on this side,
who did that?
Yeah, you did the video.
Yeah. Oh, girl that locked up. After he's talking about, I was like, oh, you did a video, right? Check that out, man.
And basically, long story short, see, when you look up the word Occidental, right? The word Occidental literally means the ways of the West. Okay, so you got a lot of Occidental Israelites, meaning they're in this truth, but with a Western mind state, and that's the majority of our women.
Oh, that's
they're
a
Occidental, right? Go ahead. Yep, you got it.
Well, it's a French word, so it just I look for the definition, but it's a French word that means Western. That's all.
Occidental. There you go.
It's a French word. Yeah.
Right. So basically, as the elder read that precept in the GNT, we experienced that today. This is why the beloved elder Apostle Kabar always says, don't worry about, the women on this side, because you ain't gonna be able to keep them off you when that time comes, man. See, right now, we in the stage of, look, though it may be lawful, it's not expedient, meaning it's not profitable right now. You see what I'm saying? And this is where you have to, suffer and endure patiently, knowing that we can't be true heterosexual men on this side. We can't voice up. We can't, really serve Yahweh Shemel Shah the way we're supposed to on this side. So it may seem like the wall is stacked against us, but like me and the brother was discussing earlier, look how you can see the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah moving, because out here in Australia, these heathens is getting their ass kicked. I'm talking about Elon got fucked up the other day. Black eye, scratching nose. You know what I'm saying? Esau out here homeless. That's Deuteronomy 32:7. The curses is now starting to turn.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Here it is. I just bought a whole new dining set and everything. I'm sitting up here tripping like, hold on, man. Where's my chastisement? I'm looking at the other heathen nations around me like they getting fucked up, but am I in good standards? Like everything is just copacetic around me. That's the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah working in my favor.
Yeah,
we're seeing.
Yeah, the Lord way when a man way pleases the Most High, he make it even enemy be at peace with him. When
it is,
these nations, it's about the time. And right now, it's time to lock in. You know, that's right. That term in the world, lock in. We're locked in, bro. Right? We really ain't got no time. Even if I wanted to have time to like spend with my women like that, I ain't really got it. You know, because I'm working, doing the work, and every so often I might go out and do a little job here and there. But I'm focused on the truth. I'm doing videos. You know how many times my woman hang up on me? She called me in the middle of me doing a lesson. I'm like, yo, I'm doing a lesson. And she hang up. Oh, I'm sorry. Yo, you know, she want to talk about nothing. But the point of the matter is that we locked in right now. So all that shit in the world, it really don't matter. It's going to come. And even niggas with money tell you that. Hey, worry about locking in, man. Women gonna come, and they will. Women smell two things from a 20-yard distance, man. A 20-mile distance. Money and power. Any man with power or money, she can smell it. Like the nigga from off of Paid in Full. I can smell a nigga with money. He be like, I'm broke, baby. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no money. You know? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the type of time like it is. Like, and right now, though, the woman that we supposed to be worried ourselves with is wisdom, right? And we supposed to be wrapped up in her, right? It's not. I'm gonna bring this out real quick. The elder from North Carolina, Elder Hawaii, posted. He posted Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So you think Yahweh Shemel Shai don't know what you want? And the reason why Jake want a bunch of women and all the other things that come with it is because really is a part of escapism, right? You live in scarcity, you're living in survival mode, right? You living without, you're destitute of certain things in life, and you want these things. The flesh want these things. But I can tell you from my own personal experience, bro, you can fuck all week. It's draining. It's not something that's going like it don't add to you. Really, you taking away your life force and giving it to a woman.
Yeah, and that should take away your fucking strength, man.
Yeah, take away your strength, bro.
You're not fully focused no more. Like it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and then you think like, oh, I'm in heaven now. You know, I got my women. We good now here, man. We ain't need to leave here. We gonna find a better house than this. Like, no, brother. Like,
you thinking like that.
You know what I mean? And then like even when Isaiah 4:1 happens, right? Look at these women. These women, they're gonna be they're gonna be humble. They're not gonna be prideful, right? They're gonna be in a humility state that is so low that you're gonna be like, damn, I ain't never witnessed something like this before. And then you start seeing the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai fall upon you and on you and around you, and seeing your mind, how you thinking, why you so poised, why you so sure, right? All this faith that you had is gonna rub off on her, and Lord willing, if she part of the elect, she gonna be saved. So these women are willing to be saved, and it ain't just gonna be no 40-year-old woman who done got smashed and dashed. It's gonna be young girls, brother. You're gonna be 12, 13, 14-year-old girls rolling with you, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be
get real quick. Psalms 37:4. That's another one to add to your point.
Yeah, Psalms what?
Psalms 37:4.
Okay.
Because Elder, you gotta realize like these are old women, right? In this society, like most of them, they're gonna take them out to the beast. The ones who are gonna have the strength and to speak up and you know against the government is the young ones, because they're keeping up with what's going on with the exposure of Esau, his whole system. They're the ones keeping up. You like, the scriptures is the old bottle. You can't turn the old bottle. That goes for men and women, man. You can't turn an old woman and be like, oh, hey, the Michael, this is Michael. She gonna look at you like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? But the young ones, they actually got that type of little bit of understanding that Esau is controlling, is controlling the whole world. Is trying to do this, and like trying to cheat people. They come into the understanding. But a 40, 50 years old woman, they're gone through. Forget about it.
The scripture says you can't put new wine into old bottles.
Now, that's not saying that it's not older women that believe, because you do got elect women out there. You got elect women out there that's gonna be up there in age, and they're gonna be brothers' wives.
Yeah,
right. Be good. She may not need to get laid on, right? She waiting for the new body. So she might open her doors and help brothers. She might open her doors and feed you. She might say, "Look, brother, I believe. I've always believed, and the Lord put the Spirit on me and said that this was going to happen. And look, it actually happened. Call all your house. I was shot, and she ain't gonna have no husband. Like, I ain't got no husband. My husband died years ago. Like, all right, sister. Well, hey, man, you with me now?
That's right.
Lord willing, to be the Lord's will. Hey, you with me now? But this is Psalms 37:4. Delight thyself also in Yahweh Bashem Shai, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Yeah. So like that's the thing. Like, don't ever think that the Lord don't know what you want. He created us, brother. And there's so much more to life than just plowing women, bro, and even getting women knocked up. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much more. And I can't wait to be on a level to where we're not concerned with the small things in life. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that are really inconsequential. Like you supposed to have a certain quality of life. That shouldn't be a surprise to you. You supposed to have wives that's in order. That shouldn't be a surprise to you. So don't lose your mind and lose your cool because, oh man, I got titties. You ain't seen Jake get freaky and nasty. Like, chill, bro. Calm down, drink some water, do some push-ups, man. You be all right, bro. Because at the end of the day, we got so much to do. Right? Yeah. There's a time and place for everything. And I'm not saying that Isaiah 4:1, you're not gonna have no time. You're gonna have time to do it because clearly, right? It ain't gonna just be a verbal agreement between you and a gang of women. Like, no, you're gonna have to deal with them separately, right? And it ain't gonna be like it's a long line outside your bedroom door and you just plow them because you take your time, bro. You can take your time. Right. Cool. But the Lord, Yahweh Shai gonna have things for brothers, man, provision for brothers, man. And when you in a hardcore state, brother, and that's what we about to be in, you ain't thinking about the bullshit, bro. You ain't really. My man, my favorite. I don't know if brothers ever saw the movie. What's the movie called? What is the movie called? You know the joint where dead presidents. And
I see that.
Yeah, he was at war. He was like, man, I can't worry about what's going on over there. If I did, I'll be dead out here. I'll be a dead man.
And that's when he was in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, he was in Vietnam. And real quick, this is the book of 2 Timothy. Oh, it might be 1 Timothy 2, but I believe it's 2 Timothy 2. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So these things that's in this world, we ain't really, because your woman ain't spiritual, bro. She ain't thinking about salvation. She ain't thinking about getting out of here. She just want to be comforted. You know what I'm saying? Your kids just want to be fed and shown attention to. You know what I'm saying? You the only one in the house thinking about salvation and out of here, the kingdom of heaven, and trying to please Yahweh Shai.
The future. Right? We thinking about the future.
Yeah, we thinking about
right. And you got go ahead. Now I was just gonna say, it's funny because I was thinking today, like, brothers sometimes don't think that we haven't been in positions where I'll probably call it, for lack of a better term, spiritual fatigue, because that can happen to certain brothers, and you just have to be aware of that. Elder Yashwam used to always say, like, there's nothing wrong with pulling yourself aside and examining yourself and say, yo, do I really believe? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of times you got to rebuke that side of you where you start questioning things. It's okay to question yourself just to see where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like Elder Apostle Gabar always said, you are your own worst enemy. It starts with you. All right. And with us being in this flesh, it don't make it no better, man. This shit is a fight. All right. I mean, it even says in Esdras, like, this is Israel's portion. We got to go through this. We got to enter into the straight gate, man.
That's right.
This ain't a cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? You got it. Slacky.
This is the book of Psalms 26:2. Examine me, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. But we ain't reprobates. Paul says,
right.
I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
Because, like I said, going back to that point, yes, you can, spiritual fatigue. Where's your spiritual reset? El Yashawamba and Elder Ariala, they say all the time, you have to do whatever it is you have to do by any means necessary for yourself. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Go back to the basics. Elder Malcolm, he is always saying this constantly. Go back to the basics. Sometimes all you need is the basics, that milk, just you getting that foundation, that milk, that sustains you. You know what I'm saying? Knowing, going back, what's that? Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. You see what I'm saying? That's your rock. That's your fortress. That's your salvation. This is what you're dependent upon. So when you get that spiritual fatigue, you're supposed to be tapping in. You know what I'm saying? You tap into the wise counsel through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is where the tap in is at. All of us is going through it. You see what I'm saying? But that don't make whatever lot that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has planned for you. That don't mean that, you doing it harder than the next brother. No, man. You just know that you ain't the only one out there alone, brother.
That's right, yeah.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was going to say that there's a precept from Elder Hawad, 1 Timothy 6:12. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called. It has professed. Slocky.
No, you good.
It has professed a good profession before many witnesses, man.
See that?
So in the NLT, GMS Salvation posted Psalms 26:2. It says, "Put me on trial, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and cross-examine me, test my motives and my heart." Because you want to make sure that your motives remain pure as well as your heart remain pure. Even the Elder Apostle Gabar just recently said that in a video. I believe I was watching a little bit of it, enough of it, and it was speaking about what we're doing in this truth. The title of that lesson was you must understand what you have been called to. Message to the brotherhood, right? And that's from Apostle Gabar. You got to remember what you're a part of, man. You know what I'm saying? We really don't be entangled into this world like that. You get in, you get out. You know what I'm saying? And there's also a balance. Your brother was speaking about spiritual fatigue. I remember years ago, several apostles, as well as other elders and brothers, was making videos about, balance, finding hobbies, things to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you consume with the truth, but you can burn out too if you're doing too much. So you got to take time to breathe, go take a walk, get into exercise and some things that I should do. Brothers is into the jujitsu. Some brothers, they into sightseeing, and some brothers go on trips here and there. Some brothers find a way to balance out this truth with the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you still here. We ain't monks, bro. Right? We ain't
monks, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We spiritual men. And
can I get a quick precept about the show?
Yeah.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 20. It says, before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. So we know that day of judgment is coming soon. That's why we gotta check ourselves. Are we doing the right thing? Are we serving Yahweh Hashem with true heart? Like, are we doing this thing to please Yahweh Hashem or are we doing this thing to please ourselves? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Apostle Bar was speaking about that. He said, that's a part of wisdom. Like you want to catch. He said, if you too much into the world, you gotta make sure you catch yourself and pull yourself back to this truth, because you don't, and you should be able to judge yourself before you. How about Shai do it? Because once he do it, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want that. So it behooves us to catch ourselves before we get too deep. It's a tightrope walk that we're doing. Sometimes. Yeah, you got it.
It's like to cut you off. Even the scripture says, if you're a spiritual man, there's no man here that can judge you. But basically, if you're spiritual, you judge all things. So if you have that spirit mindset, that spirit mindset to judge all things, you should be able to judge yourself. If you part of the, not saying like if you can do that, you're probably elected. But I'm saying like if you have the understanding and the knowledge of the Bible, you should be able to put yourself aside and be like, you know what? Let me examine myself. Let me judge myself real quick. See if I'm doing what am I supposed to be doing, because that's what the scripture says. Spiritual man is going to judge what all things. So it starts by yourself. Every time Yahushua spoke, he himself was right there. He put himself in the first place.
Yep.
If I can add to that,
I'm just gonna be be over all these individuals. Nah, man. It's we put ourselves first, and the pastor said the same thing. Like when they do lessons, we speaking to ourselves first.
Yep.
That's my point, Sanky.
No, I was going to say that's what makes it even more, fearful and being in this truth, because I remember there's a precept in Job. I think it's Job 34 or 36, where he told Job, gird up thy loins and
show yourself as man.
Show yourself as a man, for I will require of thee. Right? Like when you read that precept and the way that he like demanded from Job, that was scary, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at yourself like, damn, okay, what am I doing? What can I do to really make sure that I'm on the right path to make sure I'm doing? And I'm not saying that to tell any brother, don't go overboard and bug yourself out overthinking. You know what I'm saying? But just keep it simple. Always revert back to the basics. Analyze yourself. What is it that you can do better? What is it that you may have that's a weakness, a flaw, or whatever that you need to really nip in the bud, and try to find some sort of mediocre, so that that's not going to hinder you in your process of enduring unto salvation. You know what I'm saying? Elder Malcolm, he used to always say, whatever bad habit you brothers have now, you want to nip that shit in the bud before Jacob's trouble, because that can potentially hinder you doing Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be hindered, when shit hits the fan, because you was piss farting around during your grace period and you ain't nipped the shit in the bud. You didn't really get yourself right on that. You got it.
That was 1 Kings 2:2, but I know it's one in Job too. It says,
let's see if I can find it.
It says, gird thy loins.
Yeah, I think it's, hold on, let me see. Job 30.
So, Job 38:3.
Okay, that's what it was. 38.
38:3. It's like sometimes it kind of get a little 38:3. It says,
yep, that's the one.
Yeah, so this is Job chapter 38, verse 3. Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me.
See that?
In the AMP, it says, brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. In the AMP now, gird up your loins like a man, and I will ask you, and I will ask you, and you instruct me. Right? And then, this is because sometimes I get that mixed up too. We say, show thyself a man, and that was King David speaking to Solomon right before he died. This is King David speaking to King Solomon, 1 Kings 2:1 and 2. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon and his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Right? You ain't supposed to be weak in that mindset. It says, take in the NLT says, I'm going where everyone on earth must someday go, which is back to the spirit world. Take courage and be a man, right? In the AMP says, I'm going the way of all the earth as dust to dust. Be strong and prove yourself a man, right? And that's what the Lord is dealing with men, right? He's dealing with order, right? He's not. I'm sorry, you got it.
Remember what the angel said to Edris? Let go of the mortal thoughts.
Yeah, more. Says, let me see if I can find it. Mortal,
right? Because that's the time we in. Like, to back up Zaquan, like you said, you know, you really ain't got time to be, you know, dealing with your woman. Not saying that you fully neglected her, but you got to keep it in this proper perspective. You got to understand the times that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Apostle Paul made that. He said, look, we in these days where it be as though you have no wives.
Yeah, I think a brother posted about that precept on the comment board. Let me see if I can find it out. You go ahead, Elder. I'll see if the right precept.
Is this Sirach 14 and 14? Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. You know what I'm saying?
See that? Put off now the weak nature. Go ahead.
It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read what they say in a KJ in the GNT, second address 14 and 15. Second address 14 and 14. It says in a GNT, put earthly cares away from you, throw down your human burdens, and lay aside your weak human nature. Put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. You know what I'm saying? You have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen. Right? And that's what we, you know, even in that day, like one of the brothers had just mentioned about you know, Paul speaking like, be as though you have no wife. Right?
Can I get that precept real quick?
Yeah, you got it, brother.
GMS, truth be told, 144:7, 1 Corinthians 7:29, it says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth that both they shall have wives be as though they had none.
And in the AM, in the NLT and the AMP, it says, but let me say this, dear brothers and sisters, the time that remains is very short. So from now on, those with wives should not focus only on their marriage.
Simple.
Right? And the AMP it says, but I say this, believers, the time has been shortened so that from now on, even those who have wives should be as though they did not. Right? Because when you're worried about your marriage, you got to focus on this woman. She want to do all this other shit. Again, she ain't spiritual. So all she want to do is shit that's pleasing to her. And we need to talk, we need to work on the marriage, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that. They want to threaten to leave and then they want to stay. Listen, bitch, I got no time for that. I'm doing this right now. I'm doing this right now. Like, let me focus because this is what I believe in and this is what's happening. Now, there's a time and place to deal with you, but just ain't it right here. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Focus on the things that are at hand. Because remember, none of that stuff is going, none of these earthly things that you worried about, you have anxiety about, none of that shit is going to save you in a time of trouble. None of that is going to for you for the time of trouble. So we're supposed to dedicate our lives to Yahweh Shem Shah. And that's what we were put on this earth for. We were put on this earth to serve Yahweh Shem Shah. Now, how we serving them and in what capacity, the Lord set that up. And then certain things that's in our life, we have it because the Lord set that up. It's just a part of our story. It's not the crux of our story, right? You got wives, you got children, you know, you got family members and shit, but your focus, the reason why you were created was to do the work. Yahweh Shai said, if you don't hate your father, your mother, or your sister, your brother, your woman, your wife, or your children, you can't serve me.
That's right.
Right? Yahweh Shai takes precedence in everything, right? Over the other stuff. Now we are responsible for those people and those things that we have, and we ought to, you know, duly take note of those things. But this is our primary job. Yahweh Shai had brothers and sisters. He had a father and a mother, physical father and a mother, which is Joseph and Mary. And he had
Mary,
brothers. He had a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. But he wasn't like, yo, man, only 2 of his brothers was in the truth. And it was James and Jude. I believe James and Jude.
Yeah.
I believe it was James and Jude.
And then remember how I checked their mother.
Yeah.
When they were seeking for him, he said, man, I'm here from my father's business, and this is when he was 12 years old, when he first was coming up. He checked them right there, and that's from there. One of the things I pick up from there is Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 40. Like Yahushua became a pilgrim from that age, man. He was ready, like to be here and there. Like he wasn't here to please his parents, stopping him to serve Yahweh. I mean, it's like Yahweh. No, and that's the time we're in right now. We the scripture says like there's a purpose, under the heavens. So we're in a time of spiritual war. Also, we're in a time of building, the house of David, spiritual, which is what working up the rest of the brothers who are scattered worldwide, and believers out there about what pushing the truth right here. Because that's the time we're in right now. We're not in a time of love and coming together, party and bullshit. That time is done with. Man.
Yeah, that family reunion spirit, that shit is over.
It's over. Yeah. You go to a family reunion where you get a few drinks and then you're like, what the fuck am I doing here?
I gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, you get your food in, you're like, what else is left? I gotta go home.
Yeah.
Then the longer you stay, the more you get fucking vexed in the head, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're seeing all of the wickedness.
Yeah, and the whole fucking vain thoughts. I'm like, man,
and that because remember, the scripture says, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way by taking heed to the word." When you take heed to the word, you're starting to cleanse. You're working on the inner man as well at the same time. When you get around other family members and stuff that are still a part of the world, to elaborate on the brother's point, you start to get vexed in the spirit. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I believe there's that's pretty much. Go ahead, you got it.
I got a precept real quick. This is change relationships. Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother, or who are my brethren? He stretched forth his hand and toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
That's a cool cut.
You got family members that ain't doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Shah. So these people, they just a portal that you came through. Doesn't mean you disrespect them and fuck them up and hate them. No, but you have to separate yourself from these people because, like you said, they're gonna be roughly paraphrase what you said about the family reunion. They're gonna be bringing your spirit down, bro, and they ain't going nowhere. They're just stagnant. And what do you really want with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my work. I'm doing the work right now. What is? And then obviously, I always extrapolate that maybe they was worried about them or something, and they were, they didn't want they didn't want nothing to happen to them, so he's gonna try to talk them off a ledge or something. You know how Jake. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what it says in the MSG version, Matthew 12, right? In the MSG version, I'm trying to see.
I'm gonna start using that, man. MSG.
Yeah, it says in charge of everything. I'm sorry, verse 46. The MSG 46. Come on now. Verse 46. So it says right here, obedience is thicker than blood, right? So people be like, order. No, obedience is thicker than blood, right?
That's
it
crazy.
Says while he was still talking to the crowd, his mother and his brothers showed up. They were outside trying to get a message to him. Someone told Yahushua, your mother and brothers are out here wanting to speak with you. Yahushua didn't respond directly, but said, who do you think my mother and brothers are? He then stretched out his hand toward his disciples. Look closely. These are my mother and brothers. Obedience is thicker than blood. And the person who obeys my heavenly Father's will is my brother and sister and mother. You see?
Period.
That's a big separation right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes, it definitely is a big separation. Because see, the Catholic Church, they claim that they elevated Mary to some type of saint and all this other stuff, but that's not what you're supposed to do in the first place. But what did Yahweh Shai do? He rejected them.
Mm-hmm.
Two of his brothers was in the truth. Two of his brothers weren't. So
Yep.
what are they doing? What can you really tell me right now that's going to help forward my father's business? What you going to tell me is something to stop it. You're trying to hinder it, right? What kind of message you really need to get to me, right? I'm good. I'm already set. I'm set in the will of the Father. So it's nothing going to change that. You know what I'm saying? And like I always said, I was extrapolating, saying that, like, you know, maybe they were trying to get a message to him, like, yo, you need to chill out, man, because they talking about hurting you and killing you and all this other stuff. You stressing mommy out, mommy stressed out, and blah blah blah. Blah. He ain't trying to hear that, bro. Like, listen, man, everything's gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the will, I'm doing the work.
Yep. And also, that proves a point. You know, when the scripture says that you're the sons of God.
Yeah.
So the elect in these times that we're in right now, they're gonna be doing the work of Yahweh, showing that the sons of God in the time we're in right now, they're gonna be pleasing Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. That's it.
That's it.
Their mindset.
You got it, bro.
See, Yahweh Shai is the epitome what we would say in the world. Yahweh Shai, he really was the epitome of he really out there. He was really out there in them streets.
Yeah.
All right. He was out there. You see what I'm saying? And you niggas out here, you know, all these other camps, you're not really out there like that. And it turns out on a spiritual level.
Well, they're not doing the will of the Father.
There you go.
They're doing their own thing. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're doing their own thing. And that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be occupied in the Father's business. Now it's the Father and the Son's business. Yahweh Shai. Right? And like you said, your family ain't in the truth, bro. They're not in it. Right? Now, some brothers are fortunate, they may have a brother or a sister or even a mom or dad that believe or something like that. Hey, cool. My parents don't believe. And I sat down with both my parents and I broke the truth down to them and I told them everything and they did not receive it. So what I'm supposed to do, like, just keep showing up, going, and then I go see them. I respect them. But I don't do that. My twin brother, I got a twin brother, bro. And then he walking around looking just like me. And he don't believe me. He's in the world. This dude is in the world. He is not in the truth. And he knows about it.
I got a twin sister too. She ain't doing what I'm doing. She don't believe.
She don't believe. I was like, now we already done it. There's already a spiritual divide there. You know, he's an Israelite, but she's an Israelite, but they're not in the truth. So what do we have in common? It's just the same way Apostle Gabar was breaking it down in his video that I had mentioned earlier. The people in the world, they're not in the truth. So what are they doing for you?
If I'm about to say something, man, the time I called it was our birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the whole cake was laid on, and my twins like, oh, we gotta cut the cake. I looked, I said, I can't do that no more. Like I'm no with that. Man, that's the time she like developed like a perfect hatred towards me. Like, nah. Like we twin, like everybody's like, oh, you guys are twins, you gotta cut the cake. I said, I'm not doing that no more. And that from there, that was the division from that time. To this day, it's still growing.
Yeah, and that's because they are in the world and you're not. You're not of the world. You're in it, but you're not of it. You got it, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my little one's birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and because we don't celebrate it, we just told the family to come over because we got a swimming pool and it was hot that day. They said just come and join us, let the kids run around the pool or whatever. We ordered some pizzas, you know what I'm saying, have like a little luncheon out, summer day.
Yeah.
Tell me why. Everybody gets up where the table was and a pizza to get their food. And my rib, all she did was just she put out like some treats and stuff, like a platter of fruit, you know what I'm saying? And then for the kids, little sweets, cupcakes, and then the cake or whatever. So my father-in-law gets up and he looks about, and the first thing he says, well, aren't you guys want to cut the cake? And Kevin's like, no, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Well, my little one, she just made a little small speech, said, "Hey guys, thanks for coming out and just hanging out with us today and stuff. Just a family gathering, stuff like that. Hope you we lost a brother."
Oh, he coming
That's
back.
right. And long story short, he got pissed off. He's like, "Oh, well, what are we standing up here for? We ain't doing nothing like that or whatever." Then he just went and sat back down and said nothing to nobody. I was like, "Yeah, we don't do that up in here, player." You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. But you know, my little one felt conflicted because she's starting, you know, like I'm teaching her in increments, little bit by little bit.
Yeah.
She felt conflicted because her grandmother, my ribs mother, asked her, like, you know, aren't you going to cut your cake and blow out your candles? And then she didn't know what to say. She looked at her rib. I was at work at the time, so she just kind of looked over, was like, kind of, you know, what's she supposed to say? She's 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? She ain't supposed to really get caught up in that.
Yeah.
You know, but it happens, brothers. Just let y'all know. Y'all see our faces on the camera stuff, and don't act like we don't go through these things. We go through it.
So we go through it. Man. And the elder said his phone died, but he's gonna let it charge up. And but yeah, so like yeah, man, you know, it's about separating from this world. And once you have to separate from this world, but we're still in it, right? So then you gotta, once you separate it, now you gotta learn how to navigate it. You know, some brothers have more better ability than others. But see, these stories and testimonies that we bringing out is for the hopeful elect. So because y'all dealing with the same thing and you ain't going through nothing strange. It's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? We live in the West. You could change it back to your joint, my brother.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're to learn how to navigate this world in righteousness. Yahweh Shai said, "Be ye wise as serpents, but harmless as doves."
Yep.
So we always got to use wisdom wherever we at and in any situation. Right? I'm not gonna sit amongst my family and break down the truth. I've been to family events and shit. I went home and shit, my family, and everybody was at my cousin's house, and I think it was Christmas Day. I didn't bring no presents or nothing like that. I brought myself.
Say what's up. We did the same.
Got some food, and I just talked to my people. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is Muslim anyway, so what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So why you got a Christmas tree up here? But I didn't question it. I just said, you know what? Hey, I just talk and have a conversation about random shit. You know, it wasn't really feeding my soul, but you know, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And it teaches me how to manage it. Like when I show up, it ain't like, oh man, he come with that Israelite stuff. Like, no, I ain't gonna tell you niggas. You niggas gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to see you while you're here, but you niggas gonna fucking die if you don't repent.
And the scripture says, if it be within thee, live peaceably with everyone.
Right. That's right.
So you learn that by being in those situations. You know what I'm saying? And we did the same thing too. We my in-laws, they held it. We ain't showed up with nothing. We just went over there. You know, oh yeah, here's a plate. Oh, thank you. You know what I'm saying? We'll eat some of that a little bit. And when it was time, when they did the Santa dress up, my two little ones was in the back chilling on the wall like this, looking at their cousins like, y'all a bunch of damn fools, man.
Yeah. And in this world, it can make the children feel a little left out because this is the way of the world. But we're bringing something in. We're bringing something new. You can't tell a man how to raise his children. You know what I'm saying? That's what he want. That's what he want. The Lord got them in it. You know what I'm saying? He got them in a perfect place, man. And at the end of the day, you know,
here we go.
We just try to move and navigate this world without being hypocritical at the same time.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
This world is run with wickedness. It's rife with wickedness and evil. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you gotta be mindful of too. You gotta preach.
Yep. I'll start at the top here. 1 Peter 4:1. For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer shall live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of the Most High. Right. So that's go ahead. You got it.
No, I would say so. We're not living. Let me see that in the NLT. And
okay.
Just go to tools. Go to tools. Yeah. It says NLT, you won't spend the rest of your lives chasing your own desires, but you will be anxious to do the will of the Most High. And that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? How many of we had the desires to do certain stuff. We ain't chasing that shit no more. We trying to chase the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. We trying to do what pleases Yahweh Shem Shai.
Yep. It goes on to say, verse 3, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries.
Yeah,
right?
lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine.
It says, verse 4, which is the point.
Idolatries. Oh no, can
it
you read
says,
it? Verse 3.
Yep, NLT.
Yeah, verse 3.
Oh, verse 3. Yep, verse 3 NLT.
You sorry, we can hear some feedback from your phone.
Hold on.
Yeah, kind of. It says in the NLT, you have had enough of the past. Listen to this. You have had enough in the past of the evil things that godless people enjoy. Their immorality and lust, their feasting and drunkenness and wild parties, and their terrible worship of idols, man. Read verse 4.
It says, verse 4, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same access of riot, speaking of you.
And reading the NLT.
Yep. NLT, it says, of course, your former friends are surprised when you no longer plunge into the flood of wild and destructive things they do, so they slander you. Yep.
There it is. And that you go through that with your family, you go there with your so-called friends. Apostle Gabar was going into that in that video, man. Like your friends in the world, you don't know them people like that no more, bro. And it's true. I have friends in the world. I have brothers in like so-called fraternity brothers and friends in the world. I don't deal with them. Even when I try to connect with them, it just don't. The spirit of habit to where it never pan out. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, have a conversation, but outside of that, I can't deal with them people like that no more. There's a block, right? Something happens where I can't link up with them. I try to go. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna go, and I end up staying home. Like, fuck it, man. I ain't going to that shit, and then I end up not doing it because we're not equally yoked in that manner. Hey, can two walk together unless they be agreed?
That's right. Yeah.
So people think it's strange that you're not running to the birthdays, the Christmas, the Halloweens, and all that other shit. And their excuse is we're doing it for the kids. But what you're doing is you're programming your children, you're indoctrinating your children in idolatry. And because you're not running to the same idolatry, now they talk shit about you. Oh, you know,
if I might say something, I wonder if IYC teaches about that, the birthdays and shit like that. It's just they want to teach about the whole woman, thing. Do they teach about the birthdays? Because that's going into different.
I've heard them. I heard the IUIC Atlanta, they be hopping on the birthdays. I remember there was a 2 years ago, it was a Jake woman. She was going in and they tried to stop her. And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm in a rush. And they was like, why are you in a rush? If you don't mind us asking. She said, oh, because I got to get her to go to a birthday party. And then they just hopped on her. You ain't supposed to be worshiping no birthdays. You ain't supposed to be doing.
Yeah, pick and choose, huh?
Yeah, they went at her, instead of just, you know what I'm saying? You could have let her be on her way, say, okay, well, hey, if you get some time, check us out on YouTube, IUIC Atlanta, You know what I'm saying? If we happen to see you passing by again, with your husband, all right, if you have a man, bring him to the camp and stuff, and then maybe we can holler at him. Simple.
Said these niggas want to he want to shove it down your throat. The law. Like, nigga, no, bro, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wisdom should have told you. She on her way to a birthday party. She ain't got no time to talk. All right, brother. All right, sister. All right, no problem. Right?
Yep.
Next time, moving, man. You ain't gotta, but because some people ain't ready. Well, even Paul, the whole issue with circumcision. Some of them believers, they weren't ready for that, right? Mm-hmm. But you had Jake that knew they were Jews that grew up in the Hebrew Israelite culture. No, they gotta get they ride, they gotta get circumcised. These grown ass men, you know what kind of injury that's about to happen to these men? Let their faith build to a certain point, and then the spirit of the Lord will make things happen. And that'll be an extension of their faith. You know what I'm saying? So like Jake don't understand, but yeah, like we not running to the same things that are in the world. That's the point. Brother GMS DC Tazadakia the Tazadakda Yara 144. Man, brother got long names. Colossians 3:2. Set your affection on things above, not things on the earth, man.
Yep.
Right? For you, it says, for ye are dead. And Apostle Gabar was saying that too. We're dead in the world. He said the day we came into the truth is the day we died in the world.
That's right.
And sometimes, brothers, I actually feel that. I feel like I'm grappling with that. I feel like I'm a ghost just walking around. Like people know I exist, like my family know I exist, but they don't really reach out to me like that. Nobody talks to me like that, except brothers. I'm on the phone with brothers every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking to my people like that every day. It's like
Hey,
I don't.
hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, Elder, because I've been feeling the same way. I'm like, man, my little brothers, none of them, they don't invite me nowhere no more. And then I'm like, damn, what the fuck is really going on? But now you mention that, it's like, yeah, we know this nigga, he don't believe what we do, so he's, this, because the two brothers that who don't, invite me nowhere, they should be in the truth. So they understand how I feel. I'll go over there, get a little bit tequila, Hennessy, and catch niggas out. Like, fuck what we're doing birthdays for. And I've done that before, though. I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before, so I understand how they feel. So, but I was, I've been going through that whole battle of it, but now I'm like, now you mention it, I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't have that. You can't have that nigga here because he's gonna start talking about the truth. That's the only conversation he's gonna have here with us. So we don't want that.
Yeah, it's right, right, brother. And like I said, like Apostle Gabar said, he said the day we came into the truth is the day we died in the world, bro. It said you are dead in the world, but we are alive in Yahweh Shah. And in Colossians 3:3, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Yahweh Shai in the Most High, Yahweh. Right, so it's hid. Let me read that in the. Can you get that verse, brother? That verse, and read that, brother.
Amplify.
Yeah, that too. I like the AMP. I like the AMP, MSG, NLT. I was like, bro, like it be hitting, man. Like, yo, this.
I didn't get on is that on just a laptop usage?
Yeah, you can get on your phone. Just go to Bible Gateway.
Like on a website, right?
No, you can go to Bible Gateway. I'll send it to you. I'll send a link to you on WhatsApp. Can you read it, Zaquan? Go ahead. You got it.
Yep. AMP, it says, for you died to this world, and your new real life is hidden with Hamashiach in the Most High.
So this is not our real life. This is just it's not a simulation, but this is not our real life, bro. Like you looking at your peoples, you hanging out with these so-called worldly. That's not your life no more, bro. Our real life is in Yahweh Shai, and it's hidden to the world. They can't understand it. They can't see it. Right. So it says in the NLT, you died in this life, and your real life is hidden in Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, in the Most High Yahweh, man. So we're our true life is hidden, because in reality, brothers, global, we part of the elect. We're kings, bro. We're sitting on thrones. We got servants and handmaids. We part of the Lord willing, we part of the elect. We're part of the elect. You know what I'm saying? So our real life, this is just a temporary thing. Everything in it, your children, your woman, your so-called family members, all that shit is temporary, man. Some of them may not make it.
I got a precept here, and please correct me if I'm wrong, right? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 20. That's like Hebrews chapter 11, verse 13. It says, "These all die in faith, no having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, they were persuaded of them and embarrassed them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth." So this is going into our forefathers, right? So before they even, went back into spiritual world, they had to deny those idolatry gods that, the relative worshiping example is Abraham. Yahweh showed to Abraham, so that you gotta leave your parents, your father, and move on.
Yep.
So he had to make that move first. It's a spiritual thing you gotta do first before it gets physical. Even with us coming in its truth, it starts by what? Spiritual thing. You gotta move on spiritually, and then eventually it's gonna get physical, which is gonna be what? The mark of the beast, where we deny Esau being so-called God of our society, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
our
Because
forefathers did. I believe that they had to go through that whole spiritual mindset as we go through right now, to where like they had to deny everything that was happening in those days, but they moved by faith, because
Yep.
Hebrews 11 is going to what faith, right?
And
Things we have not seen before.
we're moved by faith.
Yeah,
Everything faith is a gift, and this gift was given to our forefathers, and this
that's
gift
right.
of faith allowed them to look into the future and and focus on the future. You even said that earlier, Elder Yashar. You was like, "Yo, we worried about the future. We're not worried
Yep.
about the here and now. This ain't Luther Vandross. We worried about the future. You
that's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
The things that are coming to pass. That's where our life is at. We're living in the future. We just existing in the present because we have a job to do.
that's
Right?
right.
It
Yeah,
says right here in the AMP, all these die in faith, guided and sustained by it. So we're guided too by faith in Yahweh Shai Shai without receiving the tangible fulfillment of the Most High's promises. Because these things didn't happen back then, but they're back today.
that's
Right?
right.
Some
Yeah,
of they're back, a lot of them are back today. So it says promises only having seen, anticipated them, and having welcomed them from a distance, and having acknowledged that they were strangers and exiles on the earth, right? And
Right.
that's exactly what we are. We're strangers and exiles right now. We're in exile. Our forefathers were the prophets of old. They were in exile, right? They weren't just living in the land of Israel, like, oh yeah, we were in captivity, and we're in captivity now today.
that's right. And I think
Yeah.
that was it might have been User Kwanda. I had put up that precept on it was Elder Elder Pastor Kaba, Elder Pastor Ramla, and Elder Yeshawamba, and then the I think the bishops were there too. And you put up they were mentioning about what happened during the time of Noah, how people were mocking him. Well, if I'm just speaking as if you really transform that into our time, we like Noah right now.
Yeah.
Eventually we're gonna be, I'm not gonna say we like Noah, because we haven't, into unto the end and be saved and get into the ark. But eventually, what's gonna happen once the truth is shut off the YouTube, we can't longer be on the highway and byways, and shit is getting harder. Like we mentioned before, like how women and all these people gonna be going crazy. You're trying to find the man of how about Shem Yasha. In those days, everybody who mocked and made fun of the prophets, in the days to come, they're gonna have to be knocking on them doors. But this time it's like they're gonna be trying to find the man of Yahweh Shem Yasha first,
Yeah.
so they can be in safety. Oh, I found the man. I found this man. I found even man. You're gonna have niggas looking for the man of Yahweh Shem Yasha.
Because
To be
now,
guided.
now you got time. Now you got time because all the loud noise is turned off, and now all you hear is desperation and pain and anguish. You're gonna try to look for a way out. Oh, I remember them brothers, man. He used to be on the corner. Yeah, they was there. We ain't on them corners no more. Oh, they was at the park. Brothers going. There might be certain videos. They start picking them apart. Like, oh, look, I know where that tree is, bro. You know that tree is. And they gonna think the brother is there, but we ain't there. You know what I'm saying? And the brother of GMS Salvation posted Isaiah 65 and 17 in the NLT. It says, look, I am creating new heavens and a new earth, and no one will even think about the old ones anymore, which is the new heavens, the new rulership, and a new earth is a refreshed earth. You're not going to think about nothing in this world when the new world is established, because there is going to be a new world order, right?
Yep. I remember Elder Yashawama said something, and I'm trying to find that video. I think it's like now over 2 years old. But the way he explained it, it was just going into we were a family in the heavens first before we came down here on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
So with us coming down here on the planet Earth, he said you got to keep it in its proper perspective. We got a job to do. We're trying to get back to our first estate. Now, Yahweh Shemel Shai has put in certain brothers' lots to have a family, to have a wife, to have a children. But that's not the end all be all. Okay. Those things were put in our lives just to help balance out whatever it is that we need to do, but to keep us on our mission. See what I'm saying? And you can't lose sight of the mission. Just because you got this shit going on, you got that going on, whatever, you got to stay focused on the mission. You was brought here with a particular purpose.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And brothers, that's why the apostles always say you have to understand what you are involved in at the end of the day. A lot of brothers don't understand what this is really about.
Yeah. It's not a hangout. It's not a get along. We're not a gang, right? This ain't no Nation of Islam. This ain't no damn soup kitchen, right? Man, it's life and death, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We move by fear every day.
That's right.
Every day we're moved by fear. You know, we don't want to get cast away. We don't want to die in our sins. We don't want to displease our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, right? We want to please him. We want to do the things that are pleasing unto him, right? And that's how we're supposed to live. Like you said, our first estate, like Elder Yashwama said, our first estate was what? In the heavens with Yahweh Shai. That we was the first fruits. The real family reunion gonna be when we get on them chariots, bro.
Yeah.
Yes,
that we fam. That's gonna be a family reunion to remember, because we're family. And us brothers, man. Lord, when we part of the elect, bro, it's not funny. It's not weird that we have a connection that we have. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. We ain't acting. We ain't playing brothers. Like, this serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe these are my brothers. Like, my real brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother Kahan, the brother Kayal Mav here in Hawaii. We a real family over here, bro. Right. All the brothers around the world, we have a connection. And you know, some brothers are closer to others, and some brothers may get on other brothers' nerves a little bit more. So like if I get on any brother's nerves, you know what I'm saying? The matter is,
it's the normal shit though, you know?
Yeah, it's normal shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some brothers, you know what I'm saying? We get took out that spirit, but we're family, and that's the thing. Our true family is this. Now, Yahweh Shai may have mercy on the women that are part. Some of your wives might have been women that helped you in the past. Right? Some of your children may be your family members that believed in the past. Right? So
and the back, what is that? Is that Daniel chapter 12? It says, you're gonna be back in your lot. So that goes into the prophets, but also that goes into the scoffers, false prophets, the people that you have in your life. They're all back into the where they belong into their category. Everybody's back into our category. Esau's back over here as who? Cain. That's Cain back here right now. But this time he can't fucking hide himself.
Yeah, he can't hide now.
He's trying to AI. He's trying everything. He's trying to change the truth. But it's like, nah, man. This is it. This is it for you, Esau. Like your empire was gone. During the dark age, you were gone. You're back in power. You're trying to change the story. But guess what? You will be found out because this is it. Okay, this is it. Like, you're gonna be the last one in the rulership before Jacob comes in power, as is it's mentioned in the book of second Ezra chapter 6 verse 9.
Right.
Like, you gotta be in power. Esau ain't it now. He can't fucking hide it no more. Everybody's coming out pointing fingers. Yeah, Amalekites, which the small, they the one in power. They run America. They run Australia. They run this country. They're doing this now. They're protected. Everybody is realizing you are the one.
And you see what's going on. It goes back to all the way to Cain. Remember, Cain was called a vagabond and a fugitive on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Now you see how it's manifesting out in real time. You see how now to know who's ruling the world, understand who you cannot speak about.
Yeah.
Okay. And the same people you can't speak about, they're on the verge of running away from reality. They do not control the narrative anymore. So therefore, we are in what's the word I'm looking for? Well, we know according to prophecy that persecution. We understand that this devil is about to truly show his horns. Okay, because he was blessed with the sword. So we already know what he's about to come with. You know what I'm saying? We know exactly how he's finna get down, because that vagabond and fugitive that's on earth, guess what? You've been found out. Okay, the man of sin is being revealed. You see?
Yep. Yeah, man. So this is where we at, man. I don't know, my computer's acting up for some reason. But yeah, man, maybe got too many windows open or something. I don't know what's going on. But hopefully, I guess that's all I had, brothers. I just tuned in, hopped in with brothers, and I appreciate brothers' love.
We're gonna have to do part 2 because we didn't even get into the WW3 videos.
Good. It's weird. Had it that way. Yeah.
And I told the brother, I'm like, yo, we're gonna have to do part 2 tomorrow, man, because I don't think the way things works out, like you think you got it, but at the end of the day, like it could be one topic that goes on for 5-6 hours, and you're like, what the fuck,
Yeah, bro. So I don't know why my drink popped up, but I just saw this Nate Parim. He dressed like a pimp, a Mississippi pimp. You know what I'm saying? Jake, man, we need to get the hell out of here, man. So that's all I have. I ain't got nothing else, man. You can close this out, man.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. Part 2. So yeah.
God, man. So you got
that. We want to give all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha, Kodash. And double honors once again to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. It's on to the next. Abaratazah. Shalom.
Shalom.